How's it going? My name is Brent from Encore PPF and Tint, and I'd like to take a minute and show you a car that we just got finished installing some paint protection film on. They had the window tinting done somewhere else, and there's some solid imperfections in it that I wanted to just take a minute and point out this type of stuff, because I'm not normally going to be able to show you this type of thing because this type of stuff isn't going to be leaving our shop. Some of these windows came out just fine. They came out pretty good, and some of them came out plenty good enough if they had spent a little bit more time cleaning them up. So let me go ahead and show this to you and just go over some of the imperfections that you can find in window tint and things to look out for while you're doing your install. So this windshield here, this is a big one. This is a huge problem, really. Hopefully you can see this line right here. So that big line right there, that is actually where they were cutting the window tint on the inside on top of the blackout. And so what can happen if you put too much pressure with your blade on the inside, you can actually scratch the blackout, and then it's going to make that type of a line visible from the outside, and you're not going to be able to get that to go away. I've tried before, because when this stuff first, when blackout really started coming around, I was tinting back then. But you could scratch it, and then I tried to find a way to fix it. So I would try scratching into it really deep to see if I could correct it, then with some touch-up paint. No can do. That's permanent, and the only way to fix that is to replace the glass. Another thing in this windshield here is this big imperfection right here. It's too big. That's just too big. If they just would have taken a few seconds and pushed that down, it probably wouldn't be so much of a problem. That could have been easily corrected. Now on this side window here, you can see that these corners up here are pretty crinkled up, and that's just not something that you should be letting leave your shop. I know it's tough to get up in there, but we can do better. Now, if you can see here on this front roll up, this patch of air pockets here, that could have very easily been pushed out, and so it would never be a thing. So just take a little bit extra time and clean up your edges. And the other problem that we have here is that they did not bring the film all the way back behind the rubber. So all the way up this window on both sides, you can see this huge gap. So if we take a card and put it on the inside there, you can see that we can see, that's a huge gap. That's gigantic. So always when you're doing your placement on these type of windows, check this before you start squeegeeing things out to make sure that you've got good coverage from left to right. Now, these roll-ups here came out pretty good. There are a couple of creases here. There's one here and one here. They're very silver right now because nobody touched them up. If that person had spent just 30 seconds and pushed those down, those would never be visible to the customer. The wing windows came out great. These little port windows, easy peasy window, right? Now, I would say that this back window came out plenty good. There are some imperfections that could have been touched up, like there is one here that could have been corrected, and that is just a little crease. Not the end of the world, easy to fix, but there is a big bubble right here. And then they did not cover the third brake light. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say almost always cover the third brake light. Almost always. That looks terrible. Now this wing window here has a lot of crinkling up here in the top corner, and then there's just some contamination in here. All this could have been cleaned up and been hidden. We are crinkled up a bit down here, as well as there is some stuff right here. It's probably best just to pull it off and toss it and start over, because it's hard to clean up things up in these corners. You want to try and get those to come out really well the first time around. The more you mess with those, the harder it is up there to get that stuff to lay down well. And then just kind of throughout this install, there's some just little bits of contamination as far as little dots and things. And if you you'll see pretty much in all my videos, I go around and I touch up especially the roll-ups. I spend time making sure I touch up each one of those little dots. And that just gives your customer takes away anything for them to look at and find. So, because once somebody finds one thing, they're gonna look at every single window. So if you have some problems on some other windows, as soon as they start finding problems, then they're looking at everything with a magnifying glass. All right, great. Well, hopefully you guys found something helpful there. Give the video a thumbs up, subscribe, and we'll see you guys on the next one. How's it going? My name is Brent from Encore PPF and Tint, and today, in this video anyway, today, start that over. I don't know why I didn't like that, but I really didn't like that. How's it going? My name is Brent from Encore PPF and Tint, and what I'd like to go over with you here on this vehicle is... No, I don't like that either. Well, sometimes I just can't do it. You know? I don't know what it is.